On today's podcast, we're going to discuss why it's important to give 100% focus and attention to safety at all times. So stay tuned. Welcome to Warehouse Safety Tips. You can find the show notes to each episode, links to information mentioned on the podcast, the social media platforms we're on, and anything else related to the podcast at warehousesafetytips.com. Now, if you're a seasoned podcast listener, this podcast is going to be different from most you listen to. It's based around exactly what the name implies, warehouse safety tips. And since the people in this industry are busy, we know that time is money and each episode will be as short and to the point as possible. And now, with all of that out of the way, let's get to the podcast. It's funny how one article or incident can make you think of a topic to speak about. I was going through a document that we send to customers called an SAQ. Now, you're probably aware of what an FAQ, a frequently asked question, is. An SAQ is similar, but instead of frequent, it's should ask questions. A better way of thinking about this might be the questions that you wish customers would ask, but don't. In that SAQ, I saw the question, what is one of the main benefits of a 5S methodology? And although there's many answers to why the 5S methodology is so important, the number one reason is safety. Since the name of this podcast is Warehouse Safety Tips, singling out safety as a topic probably doesn't come as much of a surprise. It's the second part of the answer that caught my eye and why you're going to find it fitting as well. Before continuing on with our podcast, here's a word from one of our sponsors. If you've ever been to or worked in a warehouse, you know just how important safety is to both management and staff. It's almost impossible to go 10 steps without seeing safety tape, angles, signs, and or products. It's these items that show us how to be safe and avoid danger in the workplace. And if you're looking for the best products to make this happen, look no further than Mighty Line. Mighty Line floor signs and floor markings offer the best industrial products out there. Go to mightylinetape.com/safety tips to request a sample pack of their incredible safety signs and floor markings. What makes Mighty Line the superior choice in keeping your facility safe and productive? Mighty Line tape is the strongest floor tape on the market and has a beveled edge that increases durability for industrial brush scrubbers, forklifts, and heavy industrial wheel traffic. Mighty Line's peel and stick backing allows easy installation and removal. You can apply and reapply it during installation and it leaves no sticky residue should you need to remove it. This allows the ability to change workflow areas quickly and easily and not have the downtime that's associated with painting or using floor markings that leave behind a mess when you remove them. Mighty Line tape is 7 times thicker than the average safety floor tape. Mighty Line signs and markings come in a variety of shapes, colors, and sizes, and if we don't have what you're looking for in stock, there's a good chance we can customize it and allow you to find exactly what you're looking for. Mighty Line offers a limited 3-year warranty on their floor signs and markings. And last but certainly not least, Mighty Line's products are patented and proudly made in the USA. We're proud to have Mighty Line as the official floor sign and floor marking company for the Warehouse Safety Tips podcast and site. Again, go to mightylinetape.com/safety tips to request a sample pack of their incredible safety signs and floor markings. Now, back to the podcast. In the first part of this podcast, we answered the SAQ, again, a should ask question, as what is the main benefit of a 5S methodology? And again, the number one reason is safety. Safety is most important because your workers are your most valuable asset. In a previous podcast, we spoke about how people can become absolutely oblivious to safety markings around them. The second part of the SAQ made a reference to people saying, I've done it that way 1,000,000 times before, but this time, ... The portion that follows this time in stories can range with everything from a simple scare to fatalities and everything in between. But most importantly, they point out that one time that you take your head and focus off of a swivel and disaster strikes. Now, safety isn't something that you employ part-time. It's something that you got to make your full-time mindset. And in doing so, everyone gets to go home in one piece and most importantly, you have peace of mind. We hope you enjoyed this episode of Warehouse Safety Tips. If you visit warehousesafetytips.com, you'll find the show notes for this episode and access to all of our blog posts, previous podcasts, advertiser information, and much more. Thank you for listening to Warehouse Safety Tips, and have a safe day.